Welcome travelers from the winding trails. Grab a spot by the hearth and a pint of ale. A brief respite from our noble quest. Lean back in a chair for the Song of Rest. Hello travelers and welcome to the Song of Rest, a place where our heroes and the deities that guide them gather to share a behind the scenes and behind the screens look at the unfolding adventures in Archipeldia. Gathered before us is the Dungeon Master, Aaron Rollins, and his band of players, Dustin Bleschmidt, Janelle Wilkie, and Chad Stafford. But I'll let them do the talking, and I'll get back to playing.
All right, well, welcome travelers to the whatever.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the words.
It's just a lot. It's at halftime. It's just welcome travelers
from
to
the
the winding trail. like as if like
by the heart
And
and
a
a pint of ale.
like early emo, like sad emo.
We are all the sad boys tonight.
Sad boy hours.
Bartenders or the barkeep's like, oh,
I grabbed a spark by the hearth. Did you heard it?
should probably hire a different bard. That one needs a day off.
Oh, it's bringing me down, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
I don't usually cry, but I'm all teary-eyed right now.
Squawkity the squawk. Let us have our sad boy hour.
So here we are at the end of a very emotionally gripping episode, and just from the jump, I am going to completely take over by insisting we give a round of snaps. Maybe snaps are bad on audio, but
I'm
a
not
round of
peeking.
snaps for the most heartfelt and amazing improvisation. The award goes to Timothy Biscuit, played by Chad Stafford.
Yeah. Oh
Thank
my
you,
God,
guys.
Chad.
Yeah, contrary to popular
Stop it.
belief, that was not
Stop it.
scripted like anything else is scripted in this podcast. Chad improv that whole thing, and I don't think anyone could have done a more amazing job on the spot like that, especially with all of this new information that Timothy learned, and as well Chad learning about what that would mean to the Krekel. And so big props to you, sir. Like, wow.
Thank you. That is genuinely sweet of you guys. Thank you. I did get a little teary-eyed in the middle of it because, that was a lot. And I wasn't expecting to get super. I wasn't expecting to, shed tears this episode. I felt that we were gonna have this was gonna be heavy. So I'm glad that we could make something really cool out of it.
You and Aaron had such synergy, in even just before the speech, when you were talking as Timothy and the Oracle, and she was doing thieves' cant to you, and the first time it hit me was when she was talking about the heart ascending, and you translated it as "so we can finally fly." I was like, oh my God.
That hit me like a punch right in the chest.
Yeah.
Just, oof.
And then it only kept going from there, where it felt like you and Aaron planned out like this whole culture almost, because you had such a strong grasp of what he was saying, even though he was saying it in a way that's like not, Flowerkraut wouldn't quite understand, like she would have trouble deciphering, but Timothy being part of the culture, it clicked right away. And then for you to take that and give a speech to the Krekel that could touch and sway their hearts was so amazing. I was totally blown away.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron. I wanted to thank you just for like what Janelle said, just the setup, because you've created a world in which especially in a podcast, we're dealing with characters that, and we've talked about this before, especially when we first got to Glavio and met the Krekel, that we're dealing with characters that don't have a traditional way of communicating. And the way that you've been able to detail out that world and provide context and make it feel so lived in, I think is the reason why we've been able to play to those strengths, because you've built such a solid foundation. So I want to say thank you for providing that opportunity, because it's been really rewarding and fun to play in this playground that you've masterfully created for us. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you. That means a lot. I was you did an amazing job picking up on all of that as well. I think that one of the fears I had coming into Glavio was how difficult it was going to be communicating with all of these different characters. I know we've touched on this before, but not only the Krekel, but also Bernice, who doesn't talk, and uses the chimes. And so you've got all of these language barriers, and it kind of speaks to the melting pot that is Archipelagia altogether, because there's places in Archipelagia where they have a language, but it's not like a language anybody in this party speaks, This was just more of an extreme case of that, So I have been very happy with how things have turned out and how you guys have been able to catch on and just roll with everything so well. And how we can create moments like this episode, that have such, emotion from people who aren't even speaking traditional languages with each other.
And also just to have a fully immersive D&D style experience where the dice played very little into the process. And some of my favorite moments in D&D are the narratives that we build together, because there's very few things out there that have interactive storytelling, and I enjoy those moments just as much, if not more, than, when you get that nat 20, as awesome as that is, as cool as that is, and you feel like you did something really epic. That shared narrative is from a storytelling perspective and just wanting to immerse yourself in a world that isn't this one. When I say this one, I'm gesturing to the open air around me. That isn't this world. The ability to immerse yourself in a world that all your friends are sharing as one is in my mind, it's the most beautiful thing that D&D provides.
It's pure role playing, and your speech, outside of the dice, had legitimate impact. It touched our hearts.
Yeah.
And that's reflected in how the story unfolded from there.
And here's something I wanted to mention to our listeners. For anyone wondering, hey, didn't Timothy cast Eagle Splendor on himself? What happened to that? We mentioned this kind of in between one of our cuts in the recording, but we were so taken aback by how well Timothy delivered that speech. And as a DM, and I would hope that other DMs could agree with this, there are moments in role-playing where the dice can literally go fuck itself, because it's such when such an amazing performance is put forth, you're not going to let a character risk rolling a bad roll. That's just not fair. It's not fun. It doesn't contribute anything to what just happened in the story. So, if anything, Chad created a nat 20 for himself.
And I can guarantee you, had the role been reversed and I was talking, oh, that would have been a roll. You would have been like, you're gonna have to roll, buddy. So thanks. Thanks again for getting me off the hook, because I was sweating buckets at the beginning.
I think we all were, because off mic, because we try to keep this podcast as streamlined as possible, because we like to have music and sound effects, and there's a couple of internal monologues that we have back and forth that are more rules focused, because when we found out that we were going to have to do this sort of persuasion. Like off mic, we talked about like, you know, what different tactics could we use? We talked about, you know, how could we boost it? And I know I talked to Dustin. I'm like, you're going to have to use your emissary apiece. Like there's no way I'm going to roll high enough.
Yeah, we basically had the conversation that would have had at a table that just isn't entertainment. It's just
this was
stress.
like looking at our spells for like 10 to 15 minutes. Like, what can we do? You know, and that's why I ended up just casting, I think it's Eagle Splendor from Enhanceability, but Aaron, I was very grateful that you didn't make me roll, even though we did roll between breaks just to see what could have been. It would have been a real bummer scenario to have rolled low after trying really hard to say something.
It just undercut the moment.
Yeah, it would have, absolutely. It would have made no sense.
I poured my heart and soul into this moment, and I rolled a 3.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do let the dice do the talking, like in the moment when you had Aster take control of Flowerkraut, and I rolled a nat 1. I'm like, oh god, this is terrible. And then it's like, but it's too perfect for the narrative. Like
Exactly.
Sometimes the dice does make the story better, and in this case, it would have undercut it if it rolled low.
Yeah, and I know there's the fun in rolling dice, and sometimes we have an episode like this one where there's not a whole lot of dice rolled, but I feel that you need one of these every once in a while where it's narrative driven, and we're not going to necessarily let the dice just arbitrarily say, oh, you screwed up, they don't like you, even though you gave a heartfelt talk, and now you guys are in a pinch. Because, you know, and I set up multiple options, and I think I mentioned this in the last Song of Rest, that a Heart of a Kenku is just a Heart of a Kenku wherever you guys decide to end up getting one. You know, whether that's the Snapping Twigs, or any of the other Oskal's Refuge people, or Timothy's, or Tumbleweeds. If you guys need to get a Heart of a Kenku,
why there was a part of me, I'm like, you know what? I am very attached to Timothy, but if I gotta re-roll a new character, I will do it.
Oh my god, no!
I thought for a second you
allow.
were going to believe, but I gotta kill one of these other guys. Like,
Kill one of these Kenku.
I remember, like, after you had first told me this Heart of a Kenku thing, I wanted to, like, have Flowerkraut joke with Sherman and be like, so, we're gonna have to kill Timothy. But then it's like, no, she's gonna keep it a secret.
I love the drama that you created by Flowerkraut keeping it a secret. I think is what made the separation feel so much more extreme once they were separated and you were taken over, because like, man, there was like a rift between them in the metaphysical and the physical space.
Yeah. And to give a peek into Flowerkraut's mind, she has seen how Timothy and Sherman react to pressure. And that is why she made the decision to keep it a secret, because she's like, they don't need the extra pressure. It's too much. Like they struggle with extra pressure. And then in this, I think it's just this very specific, special circumstance where it's like his people he can see himself caring about, especially Tumbleweed, and people who he can really understand. He was able to provide the missing piece that Flowerkraut, it's like she probably could not get anybody on board. And Timothy swallowed kind of the fear side of him because he could empathize with what they might feel and could find a way to reach out to them.
Yeah.
And so she's seeing Timothy especially in a new light. And then, of course, Sherman was a steadfast rock because I think he's been inspired by Timothy's bravery too. And so he is steady. He comes and helps and is respectful to Snapping Twig.
like I feel like
That was such a sweet moment.
So that was nice.
and yes, very that was. But I feel from Sherman's perspective, like if they would have said no immediately, Sherman would have been like, okay, well, like, we're not fucking doing it then. Like, guys, saddle up because we're in for some shit, like, and we're gonna just go. That would have been, it wouldn't have been more debate if they would have said no. Sherman would have said, okay, what's done is done. We're doing this another way. And like without the salve.
Yeah. I mean, we were just going to have to do it the hard way.
Yeah.
The harder way.
Yeah.
Both ways were hard. This is the one of them would have been a little more difficult.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know how you were going to go about convincing them. I mean, again, I go back to your heartfelt speech to them, but like this was not supposed to be very easy to navigate because the complication in the fact that a Kenku who doesn't have his heart cannot be free to fly, and so it's not just oh yeah, he doesn't need his heart, go ahead and take it.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like which difficult path are you guys going to take? Are you going to figure something out with them, or he's gonna have to do something nefarious?
Oh gosh.
In order
man.
to get
Which
just
is what Flowerkraut's original
just to get
intention
by.
was to do something that no one else
Right.
really
Oh,
had to
yeah.
have been aware of. Flowerkraut's not being very fair to herself either because she's got, when we're talking about, pressure, her character is dealing with the pressure of that these beings of like just pure evil are basically pushing this like destiny upon Flowerkraut, something she wants nothing to do with. And as Flowerkraut like gains more power, there's only going to be their desire to have her be a part of their coven's only going to get stronger, especially if we start knocking them off the board. So Flowerkraut is steadfast in that she is not letting that get to her, or at least perceive that it's getting to her in any way, at least not that we've witnessed as our characters.
Yeah.
This was a big moment for Timothy. In the past, it's been an easy choice who steps forward and talks, persuades the crowd, because Emissary of Peace is such a powerful ability.
It wouldn't have been the same.
But it would have been the same, and it was something that had to come from Timothy.
Yeah.
The Kenku weren't going to just listen to someone who wasn't one of them, and know that they understand the repercussions. So
yeah, because
I
think that let's say, for example, Sherman did do very well on his role. Like, that means something different coming from him than it does coming from Timothy anyway.
I mean, finding out that there is a dormant dragon under the island is a pretty good igniter for a call to action.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that you guys kind of, because as I have essentially the legend of Macadam written out, but in order to read the legend to you in Thieves' Cant was a fun little experiment, so you guys did a great job of understanding what they were trying to say. Like the Oracle was saying that there were people on Glavio and they left inscriptions that we've discovered of this thing. And this is, and what got me, Chad, was when you said, must be why Glavio is what it is today. And it's absolutely correct. The island used to be lush and had a river through it, which explains the pillars of salt, which explains the slot canyon. All of the things, there used to be water here. And so it's basically like if you guys are walking through, a miniaturized version of the Grand Canyon. Like there used to be a lot. Water has carved out this island, and it came from the mountain. But the dragon stole the water.
So that means it's a white dragon, and it's gonna have ice powers, and I'm scared. We need to keep that thing asleep.
I'm scared that I have 3 spells left, and they're all level 1. Or no, I stand corrected. I have 2 spells left, and they are level 1.
I guess for Timothy, that just means that you're gonna have to talk your way out of a situation.
Lean on the rogue.
Ha!
It's mean tweets, aka vicious mockery from here on out.
Can we? Oh my God! Can we? Do you want to
Oh,
change that
yes,
on your
yes.
sheet to mean tweets?
Can I send vicious mockery
Hey.
via the sending page on Flowerkraut's
The
book?
tome.
Well, that's so
Yeah.
funny. Mean
Oh
tweets.
man, yeah. Can you do vicious? Ooh, that'd be hilarious if you
Written
cast
vicious
mockery
mockery
through that.
because it has a verbal component.
Yeah, and again, that version of it could be called mean tweets.
That's funny. I mean, on the flip side, on the bright side of things, your vicious mockery does more damage now that you're level 5.
Oh yeah, huh? Your cantrips double dice.
Yeah, at level 5, all cantrips do double damage than they used to.
So was it only 1d4 before?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't, because I went up a level, not in.
Oh,
This is
yeah,
the
that's a
first
good
time
question.
I've dueled leveled, so I wasn't sure if like going up a level
Right.
in Rogue would remove the technical level 5.
Now the cantrip damage is just based on your overall level,
Understood.
kind of like how your
Nice.
proficiency bonus is as
Yeah,
well.
2d4 is not bad.
But yeah, like Flowerkraut basically does 2d10 damage with Elderly Blast now.
Plus 6.
Yeah, plus yeah. That's where it gets nasty because you
Eggy blast.
you shoot 2 separate beams. Yeah.
Agonizing blast.
I mean, if you
'Cause
were
y-
splitting a fart, it couldn't be anything but agonizing.
Yep.
The other thing I wanted to talk about too that kind of leads into all of this or is the result is that you think this is kind of an example of how Baba Yaga is kind of very neutral to all of this, everything going on. While she has been a conduit for you guys to get back at the hags to save Archipelagia, there's also an opposite side of Baba Yaga. And, you know, the heart of a Kenku, Baba Yaga doesn't care what it takes to make a potion, and it's not necessarily like up to her what the ingredients are, but it's just like, you want to do this is what it's going to take. And to her, it wouldn't be a second thought. You find a Kenku, you kill it, you take its heart, you know? So there is this other side to Baba Yaga that isn't just your fairy godmother stuck in a cage in the Feywild.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
Flowerkraut.
I remember the
sorry.
thing. Remember I was talking about how I had a thought in like the very beginning of our sesh?
Yeah.
It was during the book. It was during talking about the book. And the sending page. And the question, because we had just been talking about the heart situation. And I didn't think it was appropriate to ask if you could send smells through paper.
I think Sherman
So-
Sherman on the podcast did say, I don't think you can send a fart through a book.
Smelly markers. Classic.
He did.
Smelly
yeah.
Oh, I
markers.
did?
So you got it in there.
Yeah, he did.
You made it happen, Captain.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yes.
I felt like Sherman had to have some sort of like little levity interjections because the episode was so heavy.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
Dustin, you and I have actually had like a one-on-one conversation, and this might be too personal of a statement, so I apologize. We can cut it if it is, but I think you and I deal with stress and deal with difficult situations like loss and things like that, often with humor, whether we intend it or not. At least that's something that my therapist has pointed out to me. She's like, when you talk about difficult situations, you often like let out little like hints of laughter. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, because that's really the only way my brain is able to like process some of the more difficult stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, that's
Yeah.
100% fine. It kind of is on theme for the episode too.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%. That's kind of, I have that as a conduit because a little piece of myself is in Sherman, as well. And Sherman has that anxious laugh because, I use humor to try to put away like anxiety and stress just like that. So 100%, that's right. That's on point. Not everybody processes that stuff the same way, but for those of us that do, it's sometimes the only thing that works.
Yeah, I would say that this episode was a roller coaster. It was we were riding the waves of extremes, man. And I felt it. I felt it when we were like, we had our goofs in at the beginning because none of us wanted to step forward with the part that was going to be difficult. Oh boy, Aaron, do me a favor. Don't throw these curveballs all the time. Throw us some softballs every once in a while, my dude. I need another Christmas episode.
Well, you've had your on the spot.
I need a Christmas episode chaser, and it's not even, we're not even halfway through the year.
I'm kind of concerned now, though.
I mean, last episode.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Last episode, we basically had a thresher mob be defeated by a cat, so he's got to make it really heavy to counter.
I can't destroy their characters physically, but I can emotionally.
I'll get you next time, Timothy Biscuit.
Going on the Mass Effect train. It's like it's the end of the third game, and all of the choices are bad.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not looking forward to any of these.
Yeah.
Which color disappointment do you want?
The fact that we might be facing up with a dragon makes me terrified and excited. Janelle, you had a combo word, and I forgot what it was. You used it during one of our... in prep for this session.
Oh,
you used it.
Was it like scare-sighted or something?
And that was before we knew about a dragon.
I'm scare-sighted for this episode.
Yeah, that was before the dragon. We knew there was something.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm nerve-sighted.
What does the future hold? Let's talk about that. You guys, we end on seeing that the apostleship has kind of been selected as the sentries to stop anyone from preventing Aster from doing what she's trying to do. So, and if anything, you guys have already seen the apostleship in action.
Was one of them Bernice?
You know that.
No.
Okay.
One of them is Bernice.
We don't know that yet.
We don't know.
Oh no.
I was curious. I was like, did you give us some mooks, or are we dealing with some elites?
Well, if we go back to the episode where you guys are being pursued by the Fracken, there were 8 apostleship members on the Saffron Citrine, one of them being Califran. You guys saw 7 out in front of the cave.
Oh, of course they bring the
Califran's
dragon
just
inside.
Simping over Aster.
Bring the dragon board inside to like talk
Simping
to the
over
dragon.
Aster?
Yeah, Califran's simping over Aster. He isn't even under a spell.
you
He's
have
just
more
like,
of you.
you have a huge chunk of medium.
Will this dragon bring Miriam back?
It wasn't even a spell.
I will support you in any endeavor.
Aster just whispered to him, I have a piece too. I got a bigger piece.
Oh my god.
Never mind the bigger piece.
Miriam.
I forgot about that.
That's so funny. That is so freaking funny. Because, her part of Miriam's heart is bigger than any of your guys', so he's probably just simping over her.
I mean, Flower Crowd's counting on him realizing that she's the reason that Miriam is dead in the first place, so...
You guys
that would be hilarious.
That would be just so freaking funny. I mean, those are the funny non-canon inserts, like Brock being dressed up like a Kenku, trying to escape with all of them.
Brock being with the Kenku is my personal headcanon. It is too funny to me to not
In
let it be
fact,
true.
I know we made the joke about one of the Kenku starting to drop the boat, the raft into the water and then bringing it back up when he hears about the sea monster. Yeah. Now for me, that was Brock. He's like,
I guess I don't want to go in there.
Sea monster.
The water looks a little eggy.
Looks a little eggy.
Oh, no, not acid. That'll tarnish the wood finish. All of my wood stain will be taken away. No. Get it out of the water.
Nah. Oh my god.
Oh, my spinach puffs.
Just in the back of the crowd, I'm not getting that hammer back.
Oh, yeah. Sherman, you're going into a fight without really a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, frick.
Not thrilled about it.
No.
I've got to use.
Did he take the sword? Did Sherman take the sword, or did he leave it at Brock's?
No, I have it. I just don't want to use it.
Oh, boy.
Get rid. Yeah, Sherman's morally opposed
So-
to using the chains. Flower Crow is definitely going to tell him to use the chains.
We're gonna see what happens with that because there's no way to non-lethally javelin somebody.
That's true.
Timothy
Ah,
starts
just-
playing the opening strumming bits of The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. They're going to keep us together, buddy.
It's the chain.
You guys have seen that the Krekel have been able to take down Helax, bind Helax, and do whatever they need to do. This is uncharted territory on what the Krekel scouts will be able to do against.
Yeah, they have
possible-
essential
The words
thing-
don't get
disciples.
close.
They have force push with their mouths and fists. We're screwed.
mouth
Mouth.
push.
Oh,
Mouth push.
move, push.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for the
Yes.
next one.
It's gonna be the episode of the anime where the animation looks really good.
Yes. Yes. It's going to be that episode of Castlevania where I think it's Isaac storming the mage tower
Oh, yeah.
what I'm talking
I know
about?
What you're talking about.
with the army of undead or whatever, army of demons that he's got.
The final
yeah,
4 episodes
that
of the
level
Cell
of
Saga
animation.
where they're like, yep, this has to be the good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hold on. We're just gonna spend about 48 minutes on this Kamehameha.
Hey, can we get the guys from One Punch Man to do this fight for My Hero Academia? Yeah, let's get them to do it.
Man.
As you could tell, like as soon as
Yeah.
there was a fight in oh shoot, I'm so bad at names with My Hero, but there was like a fight where you could tell at least one or two of the guys that were handling the first season of One Punch Man jumped in, and it was like real good. It was that good stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Was it the... And now it's turning into an anime side quest, but that's okay, because side quests happen on bonus content. Was it the fire episode? Endeavor's big fight?
That one was sick, but this was when Deku goes like 100% full calling like the first time, and
Oh,
is
yeah.
it Eerie?
Got it.
Is that her name? That was on his back and like, oh man, spoilers, but like, yeah, was like pseudo healing him.
I gotcha. Oh,
Yes,
yes.
yes,
I know
yes.
exactly what you're talking about.
And they're like, man, we're gonna make every punch look really cool.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of episodes of like the final season of Pokemon with Ash where they made it look so epic. They made it look so epic. They made it look good. I'll
I
send
don't
you a
believe
clip. They literally do like a 360 pan around like Pikachu and Ash as like they do one last epic thunderbolt to win the championship, and it's like so unnecessary. And you know how
That's
difficult
cool.
it is to have a camera pan around characters on a television show budget.
Man. This next episode is going to escalate like Gurren Lagann.
So we're
You know,
going
it's-
to...
Ooh. We start in a mech, we get into a smaller mech, an even smaller mech.
No, and instead of spiral energy, it's Miriam power.
I was going to say, is one of us
It's
going to
just like-
drive just a face with arms and legs? Is one of us going to drive a boggle?
Oh my god.
That's what
Yes.
that little Gurren Lagann thing looks like. That's a boggle right there.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
When Sherman starts pulling, like let's say Sherman actually gets the sword out, it's gonna be like Kamino when he's pulling that sword and there's no end to the blade.
see the
Like
end
you
of it.
never actually see him finish pulling the sword out of the
Just
sheath.
like it does, he doesn't even like get
like-
it like an inch out of the sheath, and chains just like erupt like an endless amount of chains. We just got a gif of it with Kamina. That was such a great
There it is
fight.
right there. I just sent it to you guys.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
There's no end to the
Gurren
song.
Lagann is ridiculous.
Right?
That's the point of the
That
show,
is so
man.
silly.
It's good stuff.
Oh man, I gotta go back and give that another shot.
Oh my gosh. If you haven't watched it all the way through, please, you will not be disappointed
Okay,
in how good
secondary
that series
to
is.
the sword, if you look on his back, we'll have to remember to post this GIF since we're talking about it so much. But if you look at his back when his sword is sheathed, it looks like a chubby smiley face getting the eyes wider apart.
It
Wow,
does.
I can't unsee
Oh,
that.
that's
Thank you
funny.
for ruining this for me.
This is a great GIF. Listeners,
Oh my
definitely look it
goodness.
up. It's silly.
That's another good show that shows the drastic change
That's-
of extremes between zany humor and like absolute epic triumphant victories.
That just takes you on a roller coaster.
It takes you on a roller coaster.
Oh man.
I think
Um,
we learned a really important. Fuck, I can't even make this joke. Let me try that again. I think we all learned a really important lesson today that it's not whether you win or lose, it's the Kenku hearts you take along the way. Ouch. Yeah, I don't know. It's not as funny now that I said it.
Timothy's crying.
I think it would have
right
been
now.
funnier had I not fucked up the initial.
oh, good sewed, guys.
All right. Aaron, can you I guess it depends on how we play it, but are we in the penultimate episode or are we in the end game for this arc? Yeah.
For this arc, yeah.
End game for sure. I can't guarantee that
man.
we're on the penultimate
If
episode.
you're not listening
but,
to this podcast, come on. Give us a try.
If you got
You're not
friends-
hearing this.
Yeah, if you got friends that aren't listening to this podcast, let them know. I mean, all you gotta be is like, hey, have you cried enough this month? Listen to Big
I
Battle.
sure haven't. I haven't reached my quota.
Have you laughed enough this month? Listen to Break Battle and Roll. Would you like to send your emotions to the gym?
Aw,
Listen to
that's
Break
a good
Battle
way
and
to
Roll.
put it. I
I
like
get
it.
worked out.
All right, y'all. Well, I guess we'll see you. We'll see you next time. I mean, we'll definitely see you next time. I don't know
Yeah,
what
can't
our
wait to
characters might
see you
not.
next time.
We'll see how that works out,
I-
but we'll definitely see
I
you
think
next time.
I think everybody's before we wrap. I think everybody's fan art moment
Oh my
would
god,
have
we
to
forgot
be
about fan art moment.
it's got to be Timothy in the.
Oh my
No.
gosh.
It's so it's so monumental.
But
Yeah.
everybody raising
can't
their
imagine
hands,
anything else.
like one of those two. I saw that in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us can disagree that it was that moment of just all eyes on Timothy, you know, and that just power, you know, like I know a lot of times our fan art moments are what was the funniest thing that happened, but
I have one
man.
for that too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's when Flowerkraut's trying to say what she needs,
Oh.
and Sherman and Timothy are just like, "It can't be that bad, right?" And then she's like, "I need their heart." And you're like,
Oh,
you mean,
we laid it
you
on
mean like
thick.
their courage? Do you need me to put my heart in a song?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Totally that. Totally.
I'm gonna
what-
sing
yeah.
at Aster so hard, she won't
It's
even
not
know
that.
it.
Yeah. Oh my god. How she wishes it was
How
metaphorical.
awful would it be if we found out it was metaphorical?
Oh my god. right?
Oh my god.
And we'll put this mush back into the Kenku. We didn't actually need it after all.
Oh, oh.
Yuck.
Oh, mush reminds me of
The goo?
the gargantuan smoothie.
Oh, jeez. You said like grub slushies or something, and I
Yeah, the
died.
grub slush.
Grub
yeah, the
schlee.
slushy.
Oh,
Tasty,
yuck.
tasty.
Yuck.
Oh, yuck.
All right, everybody.
Okay, guys.
See you next time.
See you next
See you
time.
next
We
time.
will see you in the next episode.
Or will we? Dun dun dun.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to our Song of Rest. If you like the adventures your ears just wit on, feel free to listen in on our other adventures from any plane of existence or seeing stone you get your podcasts. Until we meet again, safe journeys, travelers.